Hey, Mike, can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Obviously, your run game has kind of complemented the receiving game the last couple of games, especially. Lenny's gotten off a little bit. Just from what you see, what's been kind of the key to that? The run game complementing the pass game?
Just getting the hat on the hat, executing, knowing who to block, and then we running it more.
And I think it was Antonio after the game yesterday said, Tom never ceases to amaze me. I know it's kind of cliche now, but 5 touchdowns, 400 yards in the same game. Does he ever cease to amaze you?
I mean, all the time. What he does is crazy, especially at his age and the level of play that he's been able to sustain for such a long time. It's unreal, and I don't think we'll ever see it again.
Next, we'll go to Greg Allman.
Mike, we've talked about the balance between you and Chris and AB and how well you guys all coexist. But like all three of you guys are on pace for 1,000 yards. All three of you guys are on pace for 10 plus touchdowns. How cool is it to have three guys that get along and kind of split the wealth, share the wealth as well as you guys do?
I mean, it's great, obviously for football purposes, but just for in the locker room. I mean, we all get along. We have different personalities, but we all mesh well together. And that's not just us three. That's our whole team. We have a lot of different personalities on this team, but everybody seems to get along, and we understand the goal.
Mike, that first touchdown you caught, just the over the shoulder from Tom, where does that rank in terms of just well placed touchdown balls you've gotten from Tom Brady?
Yeah, I mean, that was a really good one. It was like right in the breadbasket. I mean, it's up there with one of the best ones.
Thanks, Mike.
Next, we'll go to Jenna Lane.
Hey, Mike, speaking of Tom, he had told us yesterday that he had suffered a thumb injury, and Coach Arians said he thought it happened early on in the game, but pretty remarkable that he was able to go out there and put up 5 touchdowns despite a thumb injury with his throwing hand. Did you have any idea he was hurt?
I didn't. But he's a tough guy. Obviously, one of the most durable players we've seen. So, I mean, he looked normal to me, so I didn't know he was injured.
And the Dolphins played you guys a ton of man, which is usually a recipe for disaster for defenses anytime they're going up against you. Just from my early observations, it looks like Philly plays a lot more zone defense. Just what are some of the changes that you guys have to do as receivers when you go up against a team like this that does tend to do more zone?
I mean, we just got to be smart in our route running. We got to get find the spots in the zone defense. We have to be where the quarterback expects us to be, and then probably make grimy catches. When you play a team that plays a lot of man coverage, you got to be a little quicker, a little more twitchy, more physical. In zone, you got to be smarter.
Thank you.
Next, we'll go to Rick Stroud.
Mike, you're the guy that almost always draws double teams. Certainly the best corner usually. So can you feel teams struggling? I mean, if AB's getting off, did they try to rotate out of that, or is this whoever's got the matchup that play that day the ball's gonna find them? Is that kind of how you guys go about it?
Yeah, I mean, whoever draws the attention or the extra coverage, obviously that's gonna put us in position to have me, myself, or AB or Chris, one-on-one, and we like those odds. So, we're cool with that. Whoever draws the coverage, sometimes Chris gets the coverage a lot in the slot, showing a lot more this year. So, that helps us out on the outside.
We don't get to watch the portion of practice when you actually throw, the ball with Tom and scrimmage and things like that. I'm told the practices are even more impressive sometimes than the games. Is that true?
Yeah, I get to see training camp, right?
Yeah, well, we did see that.
That's more competitive. That's the real deal. Like practice is just more, just polishing everything up. But the training camp, you get to see it all. So that's what you see, like those throws, and that's what you see. I mean, game plan, obviously, you don't get to see us game planning, but
right.
From that aspect, but more competitive in training camp.
Gotcha.
We have time for a few more. Next, we'll go to JC Allen.
Hey, Mike, how we doing?
Doing good. How are you?
Did you celebrate that big Texas A&M win in the locker room this week? But just had a question. How much how much do you feel like your communication, your relationship and chemistry is better with Tom this year? I know we've talked about it over and over, but certain plays that were made on Sunday look like plays that might not have been made last year while you guys are still trying to figure it out. Do you feel like, you guys have reached that point where, it's just minds, you're thinking the same thing, doing the same thing all the time?
Yeah, I mean, improvement is going to take time, and I feel like we're constantly improving. Communication can always be better, and as an offense, we're definitely trying to continue to build that bond because with the players we have, our offensive line their communication is through the roof this year. They're playing much better. Skill positions, we're playing much better, and we're trying to keep that up, keep communicating, being in the right spots, executing, and just trying to have fun as much as possible while we do it.
Last
Because
question.
it can become routine.
Last question will come from Jenna Lane.
Hey, Mike, I know Coach Arians wasn't real thrilled with you guys' performance in the red zone against the Patriots, 1 for 4 there. And whereas yesterday, you guys just seemed to be scoring at will. What was different yesterday versus, scoring for you guys over the last 2 weeks?
We just executed better. We made more plays. The defenses they ran probably were better suited for us in this last game. But we just improved. That's what we're trying to do each week.
Thanks.
All right. That's all we have time for. Appreciate you taking the time, Mike.
All right. Thank y'all.